Good morning and welcome back. My kids are coming over for dinner tonight. I'm super excited about that. I always love seeing my children. They are adult children, but to me, they're still my babies. So I'm super excited about that. I'm cooking something really, really good tonight. I'm gonna make my tenders, my crispy deep fried chicken tenders. I'm gonna make a small meatloaf, some mashed potatoes and gravy, some corn, some green beans, some macaroni and cheese, and one other thing, and some coleslaw. Just pulled a chocolate cake out of the oven. I'm gonna frost that. I'm gonna get my chicken cut up, because when I make my tenders, I like to buy the full breast and then just like cut them in threes. And I'm gonna marinate them in some buttermilk and some seasoning in the refrigerator. Let those sit in the refrigerator for several hours. I'm gonna make my coleslaw, which is so good. And you know, any one of these recipes, if I can remember, I will link all the videos below of everything that I'm making today, because I'm sure it's already on my channel, especially the cake. You need to make the cake. It's so good, so good. You know what? My cakes aren't as big as they usually are. Not sure why about that, because it's all the ingredients that I always put in there. And you know, I just thought, usually they're like super high. Look at that. It's a little dark in here. It's supposed to rain today, but usually they're like way high. So I better double check to make sure that I used self-rising flour and not the all-purpose. I'm gonna cut up this nice big onion, because like I said, I'm gonna make just a little tiny meatloaf, and then I'm going to make my chicken tenders. So I'm gonna need this onion for both the coleslaw and my meatloaf. Also bought a green bell pepper to go on my meatloaf. Usually I like to buy the meatloaf fixins. That's one of my favorite things to use. Doggone, look at that. And the meatloaf fixins, because it makes such an amazing meatloaf. Of course I add a few other things to it as well. I don't just add that, but you know what? My grocery store didn't have that. So today it's just going to be a tried and true, I mean really, honestly, a homemade meatloaf, because I'm just going to make the sauce to go over it and in it myself. So I'm going to get this cut up. Well, let's see, my mama was still here with us, and she was standing right beside me. Look at that. She would say, Sandy, you're wasting some of that onion. You know, her birthday was just a few days ago. It was on the 16th, and let me tell you something. It's one thing you never get over is losing your mother. This should be big enough. Oh gosh. I hope it's not one of those demon onions. No, those demon onions, they just... I just cry when I cut them up. Now my favorite way to make coleslaw is very simple. Just get you a nice bag of the coleslaw mix, and then I like to add some onion. I love onion in my coleslaw. Usually I cut my onion a little bit smaller than that, but let me tell you what, that onion is, I can't even tell you. And then I also use this Marzetti dressing, which I cannot get open, so we might not be having coleslaw. There you go. This stuff is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love this. And you know what? If you find something that you like, then make it. I mean, you don't have to whip together no homemade dressing for your coleslaw unless you want to. My family loves this, so this is what we use. I always put a little bit of celery seed in mine. I love the flavor that it gives to the slaw. Ooh, it's pouring the rain out here. And then some black pepper. And I usually add, I need to turn that down, that's too big. I need to add, or I usually add just a little bit of vinegar, but you know what? I don't have any vinegar because we colored Easter eggs on Easter. You know, I've been trying to think. I remember eating at my dad's mom's, my mammal Sturgill, when we go down to Kentucky, and she would make a coleslaw. I may have told you guys this before. And it was more of a vinegar type slaw, and it had little pieces of tomato in it. And I can't for the life of me remember what else was in that. Of course, I was a little girl, but it was so good. If any of y'all make that, send me the recipe. Let me know. I would love to know how to make that. Are you like me? Do you have like 15 things that... Is there anything in there? Whoopsie doodles. Okay, that's probably enough. So we're just going to combine this, and I'm just going to give it a taste. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it, all the flavors marry. Like I said, I'm making a very small meatloaf, so I'm going to go ahead and put my meat in a bowl here. That's going to be a really small meatloaf, isn't it? I'm going to add some green peppers, and you know what? I think I may have over chopped green peppers, but that's okay. I can freeze those. And then for one of those times that I don't have green peppers for my fried cabbage, then I'll have it. I'm going to cut these up just a little bit smaller. Now that some of the potent, eye-stinging, burning juices are out of it, I'll cut them a little bit smaller. Some onion in there. A lot of people use breadcrumbs in their meatloaf, but I always use crackers. I think breadcrumbs alter the texture of it, and I'm not a big fan of it almost makes it like a mushy type dill. But I like crackers in mine. We're going to save the rest of that to go on top. We're going to add some other things to it as well. I add everything in the world to my meatloaf. I always like to add just a little bit of steak sauce in there. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And then if I have a little bit of barbecue sauce on hand, I like to add that too. Some pepper. I'm going to add some onion powder. I got some water boiling on the stove over there. And then we're going to add some garlic powder. Season that well. And 1 egg. Alright, clean hands. Make sure your hands are clean, and we're just going to go right in and mix that around. And I got a mess here. I usually clean as I go. And I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator and let all those flavors marry until I'm ready to bake it later on this evening. So all I have to do is pull it out, shape it, throw it in a pan, and throw it in the oven. The last thing we need to do is get our chicken prepped. So I'm going to wash it after I prep it. And by prepping it, I mean cutting it into, you know, the desired pieces that I like. Now, I always go through and cut off some of the bad pieces that I just think kind of like, ugh, like no thank you. I don't want that. I don't want that in my mouth. And then cut the fat off of it if there's any fat. This is just chicken breast. You know what? I wonder if I should cut it in half and do smaller fingers or just do it this way. You know what? I'm just going to do it this way. And then you're just going to cut it in 3s. Now, if the end is usually thinner than, a lot thinner than the other pieces of chicken up there, usually cut that off. And then I always take these little tips and I'll put them in the freezer. If I have a whole bunch of them, I can put them in the freezer, and then when I cook the chicken for my dogs, I can throw them right in there. Let's get this chicken ready to fry. I'm gonna add some buttermilk in here. Add it right to my bowl. We're gonna put this in the refrigerator after we get everything nice and seasoned. Just a drop or two of hot sauce in there. I'm gonna go ahead and toss it in. I wish I had a little bit more than that, but that's okay. I'll add a little bit of cayenne pepper to it, just for a little seasoning. We're gonna add some pepper. Now you want to season this really well, because your chicken's going to lay at it and just absorb all those delicious flavors. I'm going to do some garlic powder. We got a lot of chicken there. Lots of garlic powder. You know what? I'll probably just use the rest of the onion powder. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a little bit of Cajun seasoning. This I get from the dollar store. It's called Soul Seasoning. It is amazing on chicken. Actually, it's amazing on a lot of things, especially any like tomato-y dishes. Anything. It's good on anything. Put this on your meat before you put it on the grill. I want just a touch of cayenne pepper in there. And I'm just going to mix this around. Look at that. That's an old beater from a something. Oh, my camera's dying. I'm going to mix this around. I'm going to put my chicken in here, and I'm going to pop it in the refrigerator. Alright, let me show you what I'm doing to them. I'm flouring them right here, taking them from there to there and to here. Doing a little different way this time. So I'm going to flour them, and I'm going to put them right in that oil, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Alright, y'all, I want you to look at my fried chicken. Look how amazing that looks. Isn't that beautiful? I got some shells and cheese here. My gravy, it's looking a little haggard back there. I made some green beans, corn, coleslaw, and a little meatloaf in the oven. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Are you excited for some chicken?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I know I look haggard, so don't look at me. I'm going to get off here and we're going to eat. You know I love you guys very much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Take care.